OKC, unbelievable just last 2 seasons for them. Let's not act like because they lost game 7, they're not going to be here. They're not going to make moves to get better. I think it's obvious right now. The league is so happy Wemby that now we're going to go ahead and design a team that go ahead and beats that. I think we see a big push for Giannis to get OKC. I think it's super official that Chet just isn't the guy for OKC. One of my biggest disappointments, and I know it's small and minute, starting off the series, every basketball game starts with the jump ball. Chet, you lost all 7 jump balls in all 7 games. And listen, I've seen 5'9" dudes go ahead and out jump 6'7" dudes. It's just sometimes the way the ball comes, you can't lose all 7. And starting game 7, when I saw that, I said, okay, we are in for just an overall just disappointment. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, we got, and I went in and just let's dive into it, because the series for me as a whole was kind of frustrating. I felt like the referee, and I'm not the big referee guy, but I felt like it was so inconsistent from what I saw. Just an average annual hoop. My issue is you can't call it a way in the regular season and then call it a different way in the postseason. That you got to be consistent, right? Or else we're bending the rules. Oh, we're letting them play. Why don't we let them play in the regular season? Why is it any different in the regular season? So I just don't like that. Like, it looked like the whole narrative with Shai Gilgeous and how he's flopping started to affect the referees, maybe conversations. And then it felt like for a game or two, just throughout that 7-game series, he just wasn't getting calls. It just felt like there were certain times where I'm just like, oh, that's a foul. Oh, they're not going to call it? Whatever. You know what I mean? I have no real rooting interest between OKC and the Spurs. Spurs, you won tonight. Congratulations. You're going to play New York. I mean, sure, I guess Wemby versus New York. I mean, like, I'm going to watch it. Hey, it's the last of what little we got before the summer starts. So let's not act bigger than the program here. But I am disappointed just in my overall kind of concern for the refereeing, as far as like, look, I don't care about the Shai Gilgeous foul situation. If you're calling it that way in the regular season, don't switch it up in the playoffs. There was no rule board. You guys didn't sit down and have a deep, like, if the rule is going to change, I need you guys to put together a real formulated plan. Say, hey, we're not going to call these things. We got to look out for things like this. We revisit that at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, the playoffs is going to be called different. Like, no, I don't quite agree with that. I don't care how people feel about this whole Shai situation. Is he foul baiting? Everybody is foul baiting. Your favorite team has multiple players on the team foul baiting every game. Shai pushes and he gets to the mid-range. He gets to a spot. He's really good. I mean, except for this series, because you got Wemby down there, but he's really good around the basket as well. I just felt like he didn't get a fair shake. I really didn't. I felt like there were certain games where it's just like, you can't give it to one team and not the other. You can't call it one way in the regular season and not in the playoffs just because there's a narrative right now, right? Now, I think that's weird. I also look at just Dagnall. I feel like we could talk about the whole series, right? They had AJ Mitchell hurt. They had Jay Will hurt. And we're going to see, you'd be crazy to think OKC doesn't add some big improvements to that team. I think I hated game 7. And I understand it, but I hate it. So hear me out. Chet should have been benched the second half, right? 2 shots, 1 for 2, 4 points. You are Chet Holmgren and you are getting paid way too much to just disappear. And you weren't even hit with the heavy task of guarding Wemby. This is one thing if Wemby's just doing you dirty, but you're guarding him. You're there. I saw Jay Will guard him. I saw Hartenstein guard him. Where was the big money man? Because the big money man should be guarding the best player who they say now in the NBA, especially after, this NBA finals, we're going to be saying Wemby's the best player ever. He's doing something Jordan's never done. So my point is, like, Chet, you really lost the game, the series, because it could have been over in 6. Chet was so disappointing this series. And really all it is, though, it's a 6'1" dude going up against a 6'5" dude, 6'6" dude. Don't get me wrong. It's hard. Dude's tall. But you got to be able to make a move. Chet, I don't think, scored on Wemby all series. Like embarrassingly. Not only that, did you box him out? Did you get a block? Did you stop him from getting a rebound? You couldn't win a jump ball. It just as a whole totality, I was just so disappointed in what I saw from Chet Holmgren. Nasty. I'm thinking to myself, like, this dude, is he really scared? And you know where, like, the bully finally meets somebody bigger than him and you see how soft he really is? You guys ever heard those, like, references? That's what Chet was. You're so big. You've been big your whole life. You've just played a certain way and you think it's just going to work forever until, oh, snaps, wait, there's somebody bigger than me. Oh, wow, I'm like a peon. He turned to a 3. He turned to a 2. I saw Chet out there trying to be a 1. I think if Dagnall would have benched Chet a little bit earlier, the game would have been different. And not only just that, I also, when Dagnall got that technical foul and they were down 9 in the first, I just think that's such a dumb play. You didn't get a technical foul all series. Don't start now. You're the coach. And you challenged and won. What was the technical about? You know what I'm saying? If the game's out of reach, you're down 10, 2 seconds left, whatever. You know what I mean? It's game 6, you're down 20, get 1, whatever. Not in a game 7. Especially earlier in the game. Shea missed 2 free throws. Right after that, Chet goes to the line, misses 2 free throws. It's like it's contagious. And Chet, it's just like, it just brings me back to that. And the Dagnall, I didn't like the substitutions. I think his substitutions were flunky. Lou Dort starting game 7. Lou Dort hasn't done anything all series. Lou Dort should have probably been benched along with Chet. And you should have ran with more McCain, started Caruso, and it should have been my boy Queso and Jay Will. And you should just roll with that. We're going to die with this team tonight, guys. I know it's hard to bench Chet, but as a head coach, you got to do it. It's what your job is. To assess, evaluate, not to say, hey, he makes the most money, I got to put him out there. But he's 1 for 2, hasn't shot all second half. You're as good as me coming out of the stands. It's just unbelievable. There was a play in the second quarter where Fox stepped out of bounds. He penetrated to the rim, got the 2. After that, OKC goes in. I believe they miss a shot. Spurs get the ball, come down. Wemby hits a 3, his first 3 of the game. It just a 5-point swing. Why do we not have electronic out of bounds machines like they do in tennis? This is the easiest thing to do. If somebody's foot steps out of bounds, beep, 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 light up somewhere, it's making noises, flashes, let us know. That's the bare minimum. There's too much money on the line for dudes to be stepping out, and because old Larry was too slow to get to the corner and see it, you know what I'm saying? Where I lose money on a 5-point swing because the game really was within 6. You know, very end. Yeah, I just feel like just little things like that where it's just like I got to see an improvement of that, right? Yeah, they took out Chet at the 10-minute mark of the 4th. I don't recall seeing him again, but it was just I don't know, man. Looking ahead, I think it's obvious everybody's rolling with the Spurs. My bigger issue with the series is just how much glaze are we going to throw Wemby's way? You know what I'm saying? Like at the grand end of the season, let's say the Knicks win. Let's say the Spurs win, which is probably going to happen. What party are we throwing for Wemby? Because I don't want to sit here and hear everybody tell me about how he's the greatest all time. He's the best. Nobody like him. Yeah. I can't hear this for a whole year. Like all next season, we're going to hear this. You know what I'm saying? And especially if OKC can't go out and make that trade for Giannis. That's the only thing. The NBA needs to be praying. Like everybody's so in love with the Spurs. And it's like, yeah, we think I think he's a good basketball player. He's getting in it. I'm watching him improve, all of that. But to act like he's the best basketball player to watch, it's like, I don't want to see a 8 foot dude running up and down the court, blocking shots. Like that's not, bro. I want to see hoopers create space. Like because you were genetically gifted, that doesn't mean you are the best. Wemby can't do a pump fake dribble like Kobe. No fadeaways. No, like he's getting better. His 3 ball is developing, but that's the last thing I want to see is a 7'9" dude shooting threes. Like I could do that. I don't need you to do that. I want to see you dunking on people. I want to see you develop a low post game. I don't know. I'm not a Wemby hater. I'm not. Everybody knows he's good. So I couldn't sit here and lie to you and tell you I didn't like him because he wasn't good or he did something. I got to keep it a buck. But what I'm saying is just like the bare minimum obvious. You know what I mean? Let's heavy on the glaze all season. And now it's only going to get worse. Let's relax a little bit, guys.